Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Coach Josh. Welcome to my Facebook Live. If you're watching this live, feel free to come on in. First, I want to say thank you guys so much for all the support on Facebook, on YouTube, or wherever you've been watching or listening to my material. I just want to say thank you guys for all your support. So come on into my Facebook Live. I want to give you guys a quick Monday motivational piece that God kind of dropped in my spirit this morning. The title of this video is Welcome to a New Week. In other words, welcome to a new weakness. So come on into my Facebook Live. If you're watching this live, get this out to as many people as possible. Share. If you're watching a replay, feel free to share. If you're also watching this, feel free to comment below some of the weaknesses that you're going to work on. Feel free to comment below some of the areas where you know that you feel that you need to tighten. So get this message out to as many people as possible. I really do believe it's going to change a lot of lives. It really has sparked a new flame, a new fire in me in regards to what God wants me to do. If you're watching this on YouTube, thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to go to the description box below. There's some links for you to better get involved. There's links for you to give, get involved if you're in the Charlotte area, as well as to get me out to your city. If you watch this on Facebook Live, unfortunately, while I'm doing this live, I can't post no links. So feel free to go to my website, iamunplugged.com. Go to iamunplugged.com. I'll post in the comments box below for you to better understand what I do. But let's get right into it. Each and every one of us have weak areas in our life, and all of us are only as strong as those areas. Many people endeavor to be strong in some areas and allow other areas to remain weak. I tell people, based upon how you work towards your weaknesses will determine how strong you will be in life. The sad thing about it is a lot of people are very strong in areas, but are neglecting their weak areas, and they supplement their weak areas for other people's strengths. When a person tries to supplement their weak areas for somebody else's strengths, they find themselves dependent. The only person you should supplement your strength for is God. That's why the Bible says his strength is made perfect in our weakness. That when we acknowledge that we're weak, then God's strength enables us to be strong in that area. So many of us are free because of Christ, but we're not free indeed. We got to be free in our deeds, meaning that yes, the Christ, whoever Jesus converts or comes into their life is free, but I got to make sure that I'm free indeed, free in my works, free actually, like really free and operative and able to do what God has for me to do. But so many people are not tweaking their lives in order to make sure their weaknesses are eradicated. So I tell people, in order to tighten your life, you have to make tweaks. A new week, a new tweak. Every week you got to say, what area does God want me to tweak? What area in my life does he want me to tighten? And you cannot tighten your life without truth. Truth sets you free. In order for me to be free, I have to know truth. I can't just know truth. I have to act on that truth. And so many people, they know the truth that they need to do. They know what they need to do in an area in life, but they still neglect it. That's why I challenge you to look at your weak areas, to look at your life and say, God, where am I weak? This new week, I'm going to tweak my weaknesses. I'm going to change my weaknesses and utilize them as strengths, because we're not talking about I'm weak when it comes to areas of work. We're talking about weakness in our lives. I got a weakness in my lust area, and I got a weakness in my love area. I got a weakness in my pride. I got a weakness in my selfishness. I got a weakness in my insecurities. I got a weakness emotionally, soulishly, mentally. In order for you to be successful in your marriage, in your single life, in your workplace, on your career, in your ministry, you have to make changes. You can no longer remain weak in this new week. So I got 7 things each day of the week for you to think about in order to change. This week, you have another opportunity to tweak the areas where you're weak. If you're watching, just now coming in my Facebook Live, get this message out, share it, and I greatly appreciate it. This is what I got for you. Every day of the week, I have something for you to focus on in order to tweak your weeks. But before I get into that, we got to understand the gift that God has given us. God has gifted us with groupings, that he gave us time in groups, and he grouped our lives to give us an opportunity to have a new opportunity. Meaning every one of us, God has gifted us to a degree, a new decade, a new year, a new month, a new week, a new day, a new hour, a new minute. How you utilize the smallest of your time will determine how great the big part of your time will be. Every great hour need great minutes. Every great week need great days. Every great month need great weeks. Every great year need great months. Every great decade need great years. So in order for you to think about your life, you got to think about your life in decades and in minutes. You got to set goal for your decades, and then from that decade, you got to go back all the way to the year, all the way to the month, all the way to the week, all the way to the day, all the way to the hour, all the way to the minute. That every minute you have to be mindful. every minute, you got to be intentional. Even your rest is intentional. Even your date nights are intentional. Even everything that you do is intentional. But every time you neglect a minute, every time you neglect a minute, you setting yourself to have a weak hour. And every hour that you neglect, you setting yourself up to have a weak day. Every day you neglect, you're setting yourself up to have a weak week. And every week that you miss an opportunity in, you setting yourself up for the rest of your time. So in order to have a strong week, you got to do these. You got to have a mindful Monday. You got to have a tweak Tuesday. You got to have a work ethic Wednesday. You have to have a thinking Thursday. You have to have a follow through Friday. You have to have a serving Saturday and a still Sunday. In order for me to have a successful week, I got to have a mindful Monday, a tweak Tuesday, a work ethic Wednesday, a thinking Thursday, a follow through Friday, a serving Saturday, and a still Sunday. In order for me to be successful, number one, I got to have a mindful Monday. Today, you got to be mindful. Mindful of the one who's mindful of you, who is God. When I am mindful of God and how he loves me, I can now be mindful in my day. Mindfulness means observant. That when I'm observing, I'm actually looking for objects or objectives to serve. I'm not observing to see what I deserve. I'm observing to serve. If you break the word observe down, you're saying I'm looking for objects. I'm quieting myself to look for objects and objectives to serve. Many people, they go into their Monday quiet, off to themselves, but not seeking for opportunities. Today, I need you to be mindful. Mindful of God, first off, from your still Sunday. But since we haven't talked about that, we'll talk about it now. Be mindful and say, God, what do you want me to do today? And when you become mindful and observing the areas that you need to serve, observing the people, because now you know if I'm quiet and I'm observing, I know Susie in the workplace need this. I know that the kids over here need that. I know that in my workplace, I am mindful. Not only am I mindful of others, I'm mindful of myself and I'm mindful of God. In order for you to be successful, God, you have to be mindful of all three. Once you had a mindful Mondays, tomorrow you can have a tweak Tuesdays. You can look back at your Monday and say, where in my life do I need to tweak in order to ensure that I'm more effective with my coworker, more effective with my family, more effective in my craft? What tweaks do I need to do in this Tuesday? Minor tweaks to make my adjustments. Once you have been mindful, then you can make the tweaks. After you have made the tweaks on Tuesday, now you are getting into a Wednesday instead of it being a hump day, because sometimes our hump days can lead to a bumping of a day, meaning that this Wednesday is just for me to just kind of get over the hump. No, Wednesday is for you to look at your work ethic and say, how am I working? How's my work ethic on my job? Analyzing yourself and saying, am I working unto the Lord or working for a check, working for something else? But when you know that you checking your work ethic and say, man, I'm actually doing well on my job. I'm not stealing the staples. I'm not doing anything. My work ethic is in excellence because I know I'm working unto God. Then when you get into your Thursdays are thinking Thursdays. Thinking Thursdays, when you're not thinking about Friday, you're thinking about your craft. You can't wait till the weekend because it may end your work week, but it may begin your working in your own efforts, your own best. So you're thinking of positive thoughts. You're not looking at negative thoughts. You're not taking time allowing yourself to be slumped over on how bad the week is. No, you're thinking, God, sharpen my mind. I want to think hard on this Thursday because I know when Friday comes, I'm going to follow through. Many people go into Friday following into another sinful habit on their weekend. No, you're following through into a service. You're following through in that Friday, number one, to finish that Friday and that week strong, that work week strong, but you're following through with the same fervor that you began on Sunday. And once you get to Saturday, man, it's service. You rest when you serve. Saturday, you serving yourself, man. You serve, making sure you're regrouping, you're resting. You serve your family. You serve those around you. You serve, man. Serving Saturday is giving you an opportunity to rest and to enjoy life and to regroup and to rejoice about the week and to regroup some other areas in that week. But Sunday's the most important one. I call it still Sundays. In order for your week to be successful, you got to have a day where you still yourself before God. And you say, God, I'm going to be quiet to see if you want me to continue to work on this one area, I'll move to another area. See, you're only as strong as the weakest area of your life. It doesn't matter how strong your lower body is. If your upper body's weak, it's going to affect you. It doesn't matter how strong you are in your upper body. If you weaken your lower body, it will affect you. It doesn't matter if you're strong when it comes to one area of life, but if that other area that you're hidden will, see, listen, whatever in your life that you have not tightened will trip you. Whatever thing in your life that you have not tightened will trip you. I encourage you today to go and start your week strong. Welcome to a new week. A new week to tackle your weaknesses. A new week for you to say, I'm going to be mindful on my Mondays. I'm going to tweak on my not twerk on your Tuesdays, but tweak on your Tuesdays. I'm going to work hard on my Wednesdays. I'm going to think positively on Thursdays. I'm going to follow through my Fridays. I'm going to serve on my Saturdays. And I'm going to be still on my Sundays, because I know for a fact every day, every hour matters. And when you look at every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, if you look at them accurately, in the next 10 years, you will have great success in areas. Many people they overestimate what they can do in a year and underestimate what they can do in a decade. Some of y'all got this rapture mentality thinking that God's coming back tomorrow. 150 years ago, people were like, Jesus was coming back, and they became lackadaisical in their work. You got time. If God comes tomorrow, my bad. But what I'm saying is you have time. Do not overestimate what you could do in a year. Don't rush. Pace yourself. Utilize every minute, every day, every week, every month. And don't underestimate what you could do in a decade, because every overnight success happens every 10 years. I love you guys. I pray this message was a blessing. Be mindful today. Be sensitive. Be observant. Look for objectives and objects to serve. And I pray this message was a blessing. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, get this message out to as many people. Share. If you're watching this, and please comment on areas where you know that you may be weak, so we can encourage you. Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you guys so much for watching. Go to the description box below. There's some links for you to better get to know what I do. Links for you to give to the ministry, give to the ministry, Propel. I'm at my school right now. Our Propel starts in January. Links for you to get involved if you're in the Charlotte area. Links for you to get me out to your city. If you're listening on Apple, Google Podcasts, or SoundCloud, thank you guys so much for listening. If you're watching this right now, you want it in downloadable form, feel free to look for me at my Coach Josh in those platforms. I love you guys. If you're watching this on Facebook Live, I'll post a link in a matter of seconds. I love you guys. Be observant.